Since 1978, United States has given around $50 billion of military aid to Egypt and an additional $30 billion of humanitarian aid to Egypt. In fact, even right now as we speak, every year United States gives $1.4 billion to Egypt as aid. After getting this kind of aid and support from United States, why is President Sisi cheating on Biden and picking the side of Putin? American ally Egypt recently ordered 40,000 rockets, artillery rounds, and gunpowder to be made and dispatched to Russia secretly. This order was made by El-Sisi, the president of Egypt, to his top military commanders. Apparently, he specifically told the military commanders to keep this under the wraps so that Egypt does not have problems with the West. So he intentionally hid this. So is Egypt backstabbing US? And why is it doing so? Why is Biden administration unable to anticipate these things in advance? Is this yet another foreign policy failure we are seeing from Biden administration? US Senator Chris Murphy has said that if it is true that Sisi is covertly building rockets for Russia that could be used in Ukraine, we need to have a serious reckoning about state of our relationship. So United States is already contemplating some kind of retaliation to Egypt. But why is President Sisi doing so? For that, we need to understand the background between Egypt, United States and Russia. For this, we need to understand the history. Egypt has been a key ally of Soviet Union ever since the Cold War. Over a period of time, Egypt saw leadership change and the governments started looking at Egypt from a Western perspective. They wanted Egypt to be accepted by the Western world. They wanted Egypt to be the gateway to Africa and Middle East because Egypt is in a strategic location on the world map. But for certain reasons, Egypt has never been able to capitalize on this location. The last time President Sisi met with Putin, he said that Russia is an important partner for Egypt in various fields and relations between the two countries are distinguished. So he was in St. Petersburg, Russia, just before the invasion, few months before the invasion of Ukraine. In fact, Vladimir Putin replied back saying that Russia considers Egypt as one of our most important partners in Africa and Arab world. So clearly there was love between Putin and President Sisi and it was pretty much evident then. But Putin and El-Sisi have a lot in common. They both have been criticized for their anti-democracy stand in their respective countries. And in fact, Egypt President Sisi dethroned the Egyptian dictator called Hosni Mubarak, who was there before President Sisi grabbed the power over there in 2014. Ironically, it's 2014 when the whole Ukraine power grab thing also happened. Strange, but nonetheless. So President Sisi has been seen as an authoritative figure, and he's constantly been lectured by Europe and US and Western countries for human rights, and this is something has irked President Sisi, and no one likes to be, adults don't like to be lectured, and especially big strongman leaders like President Sisi certainly do not like to be lectured on human rights from the West. So Russia was a non-judgmental ally for President Sisi, and that was partly one of the reasons why he started cozying up with Vladimir Putin. There's one more reason. Majority of the wheat that Egypt imports comes from Russia. Almost 40% of revenue from tourism comes from Russia. So a lot of Russians actually visit Egypt. So it's a major contribution to Egypt's economy. So United States does a trade of around $9 billion per year and Russia does a trade of $5 billion per year with Egypt. The thing to note is that right in the middle of the Ukraine war in the month of June last year, Russia proposed to Egypt to create Egypt's first nuclear power plant in the northwest town of El Daba. In fact, Russia has committed to finance 85% of the cost of Daba, all in the middle of the Ukraine conflict. This was a $25 billion loan, a whopping $25 billion loan, which is almost 5 times the cost of annual bilateral trade between Russia and Egypt. No country does these kind of things as favor. Obviously, there's more to it. Russia is expecting something in return. Egypt and Russia also have a foreign policy match. They both support the Libyan leader of Khalifa Haftar and the Russia's role in Syria. So there are certainly synergies in the foreign policy as well. But having said that, Egypt has done a balancing act. In United Nations, Egypt has actually voted against Russia. So Egypt has condemned Russia for its aggression in Ukraine in United Nations. So it's not that Egypt is picking a side here, but certainly if there is a side that Egypt is going towards, it is East. So, what are United States' options to take care of President Sisi? Well, a lot of analysts are saying that United States and Europe, particularly, both should stop lecturing President Sisi on democracy and human rights. Once they do that, President Sisi will feel more comfortable to engage with the West, and West will have a window of opportunity to win back its friendship with Egypt. This is Degree signing off from this video. Do like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'll keep posting more videos. Stay tuned.